So as I mentioned, we're going to start seating, but I've got cushions. I've got a scarf that I'm going to use as a strap. I grabbed a yoga strap as well, just in case, but I'm going to use my scarf today. A chair, which you might want, is something when we do some of the forward fold stuff, if that's something you normally use. So I'm going to move mine over to the side. And then I've got a little blanket, which I'll use when we're doing some stuff on our back. So when you lay down, that's an option. And then in the restorative, if you want to use that blanket to cover yourself. Get all of this out of the way. I'm going to keep my scarf a little bit closer, somewhere I can grab it, just because we're going to be using that when we're laying on our backs. So I don't want that particularly too far away. And I'm going to sit on the floor. I use a block because I like to get myself a little bit of extra room off the floor, but you can sit in a chair. You can sit kneeling. We'll do the first little bit sitting. So we'll be here maybe 3 to 5 minutes. It's not super long, but if sitting cross-legged on the floor is not particularly comfortable for any amount of time, then find something or a way to be comfortable sitting for that amount of time. The reason I put something under my hips is because it helps me tilt my pelvis forward enough that my spine can be nice and long over my hips and my pelvis, which is what you want. If you're kind of rounding and sitting like this, maybe put something underneath. Great, so welcome. What we're doing today is we're really going to work on intention and attention. And we're doing those very specifically in the context of yoga and a movement practice. And the way I like to think of those in a movement practice, you're almost cultivating that skill of putting your intention and your attention towards something. And the attention can be on something very physical and sort of gross versus subtle. So it could be very literal, like your finger or your hand, or it could be even something more like, how does the energy feel in that space versus the actual physical feeling of it? But there's so many different things that you can put your intention towards and your attention. And the intention, I like to think of more of like the why and the how. And the attention is really more literal, like the where and the what are we putting it towards. So today we are putting our intention towards, in the first half, creating some space. And we're literally going to do that around the rib cage, very much the upper half of the body. And then we're going to move towards creating some rhythm, which we'll do when we get down to the floor. And that'll be more about the actual movements themselves and not necessarily the body part, but we'll pair that with the breath. And then leading into the restorative at the end, we're really going to shift the focus and take that space that we've created in the rhythm and use it to have something to settle into and to soften and release into, and to go into that restorative with a real intention of being able to sit in that space that we've created. Good. So without too much more chit chat from me, obviously I'm going to keep talking because I'll be leading us through it. Just start sitting up, find that nice long spine, sitting up nice and tall. You can have your hands just resting on the thighs to start with. And then let's just take a moment. If it's comfortable for you to close your eyes, then go ahead and do so. And let's begin with a few cleansing breaths, inhaling deeply. It doesn't have to be a forced, but by deeply, it's just long and smooth. Maybe focus on the air into the corners and the edges. And on the exhales, you can open the mouth and sigh it out. If you're more comfortable sighing it out through the nose, then go ahead and sigh through the nose. Just a few breaths like this, inhaling, feeling everything filling up. And then exhaling, sighing it out, releasing. Could be a nice big sigh if you want to just really release everything that's coming in with you today. Or it can be a slow, long, gentle sigh, anywhere in between. And then just taking this little moment here to bring your awareness and your attention to the physical space that you're occupying. Maybe you're on a yoga mat. You can imagine that yoga mat in the space that you're literally sitting on. You might be on the carpet or on the floor. Just imagine, notice that space around you. And if it's comfortable, keep your eyes closed a little bit longer here and bring your hands, one or both, to the belly to start. And as you breathe in and out, maybe taking slightly deeper breaths, conscious breaths, noticing the rhythm of the belly underneath and maybe the direction as well that it's moving in. And around the belly, we tend to really feel that movement more as an in and out. It's also expanding to the sides and the lower back a little bit. The majority of it tends to be the belly rising and falling. And then take the hands, we're going to bring them up to either side of the rib cage. So you can just lightly place them on either side, on the left and right side of the rib cage. And then start to bring the awareness and the attention up to the rib cage as you breathe in and out. And again here, maybe just noticing what direction the lungs and the rib cage tend to want to go in. Maybe you notice that the rib cage really wants to open up more to the sides than anywhere else. And a bit to the back. And if you take one hand and just place it over your chest, over your sternum there, notice what's happening there. So that tends to move very little. And then let's say for a couple of breaths here, if we can start to very intentionally breathe into specific areas. So allow your awareness to come to the right side of the rib cage. And then see if you can direct your inhale into the right side. So you'll have air going in different places. But maybe just see if that's the side that you can breathe into more than anywhere else. Can you send not only your intention and attention there, but your actual breath? And then let your awareness come over to the left. And then same thing on this side. See if you can breathe into the left side of the ribs. And again, it doesn't mean nothing else is moving, but just predominantly, is it possible to really open up that side of the ribs, the left side? And then shift your awareness to the back. See if you can breathe into the back side of the ribs. And just one more to the back here. Your arms can still be up around the ribs, or they can even come back down to the thighs. And then lastly, bring your awareness and your attention to the front. And let's see if we can breathe into that front side of the ribs. Almost like you're puffing the chest as you inhale and then letting the chest draw back down and in as you exhale. And then last but not least, allowing the awareness and the attention to come all the way around the sides, the front, the back, the ribs. Let's see if we can really breathe into all of it, the sides, the front, the back. One more breath like this, breathing into the whole ribs, sides, front, back. And then let the awareness and the attention just come back to the natural rhythm. See if you can just let it settle, let the shoulders relax for a moment. And then if the eyes are still closed, let's just slowly start to blink them open. And we're going to come back to that movement around the chest as we go through different movements today. So I'm going to get you to just come onto all fours. We're going to make our way up to standing. So we're not going to be here too long, but we're just going to start to gently move the spine. So bringing the shoulders over the wrists, the hips over the knees. The knees are about hip width apart, and start in a nice neutral position here. So the spine is in its natural position. We're not overly arching or rounding yet, but we are going there. And the gaze can be straight down. So you've got that straight line through the spine in this position. Now let's take a deep breath together here just to get on the same rhythm. Inhale. Exhale, release. And then on the next inhale, it starts to arch the spine, going from bottom to top. So moving your way up, and then lastly, bringing your gaze up. And as you exhale, start with the gaze coming down and then rounding from the top of your spine all the way down to the bottom as you bring the gaze back to your belly or your thighs. And we'll move between the two. So inhale, as you arch, moving from bottom to top. When you get to the top, maybe even open the shoulders and the collarbones a little bit extra. And then exhale as you round in the other direction. So you're going to take a few more here. You can move in your own rhythm. And I just want you to let the attention move up and down the spine. And just focus on really just letting it loosen and open. Getting into the little muscles along the back and the front. A little bit of engagement in one direction and a little bit of stretch in the other. So as you round that stretch, moving down the back side of the body. And as you arch, the stretch is along the front and the back is engaging. Last one here. On your next inhale, just allow yourself to come on back to neutral. Then we're going to tuck the toes under for a moment here. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, just bring your hips up into the air. Lift your knees off the ground. You can keep the gaze up a little bit if you want to keep your head from going below your heart, or you can let the gaze just come in between the hands. Bend the knees as much as you need to, and maybe just paddle the feet and the hips a little bit here. We're not going to stay here very long at all. Just kind of saying hello to the sides of the body here. And then walking your hands back towards your feet. And let's take a little inhale and come into a halfway lift. So that same flat back that we had on all fours, the gaze is down. And just 1 or 2 deep breaths here. And then sit yourself back a little bit. Maybe the hands come to the thighs. Let the shoulders come down away from the ears. And then slowly, let's just start bringing ourselves up to standing. Keep that gaze down for now, just because we've been down. Until you come on up with your knees straight. And then the gaze is still down. Let's inhale the shoulders up towards the ears. And then as you exhale, roll them down your back and bring the gaze forward. And when you get there, maybe clench the legs and the butt cheeks a little bit and just get yourself into that standing position for a moment. Good. Nice. So we're going to go through this little sequence in standing where we're really focusing on those different parts of the chest that we've used. And the first one we're going to do is just a real simple of raising the arms and bringing them down. But we're going to use a few extra little things as we go there. So, sorry, we're not going to go forward. We're going to go to the side. And we're going to stop halfway down. So we'll talk through it here. But that's really, in terms of the movement piece, that's all we're doing. But we're really going to focus the attention on different parts of the body here, of the breath and the chest. When you're ready, let's take one deep breath just to come on the same beat. Inhale. Exhaling it out. Good. Let's inhale, sweeping the arms up. And we're going to stay here for a breath. Exhale, let the shoulders down away from the ears. Draw the belly in a little bit and ground in. Good. On the next inhale, let's reach up, find a bit of extra length, but keep that grounding sensation. And then we're going to exhale and come on halfway down, palms facing down, shoulders away from the ears, draw the belly in again. So that's the focus on the exhale. And as you inhale from that place of grounding, find a bit of extra length in the spine. Next exhale, let the arms come all the way down, but keep that length. Almost feel like you're getting taller as your arms come down. I'm going to go through that a few times here. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Stay for the exhale, shoulders away from the ears, draw the belly in, turn the legs on a bit more. Good. Inhale, stay grounded, but lift. Exhale, bring the hands halfway down the arms. Come back to that grounding. Good. Stay grounded and inhale, get a little bit taller. Good. Now exhale, releasing the arms. Almost imagine you're pushing down through something thick and your head's reaching higher. Good. Couple more rounds now. Inhale as you go up, focus on the sides of the ribs filling up. Good. Exhale, feel yourself grounding down, belly in, shoulders down. Good. Now inhale, get a little bit taller. Feel the rib cage expanding even more. Good. Exhale. Arms come halfway down. Come back to that grounding sensation. Inhale, lift from that place of rooting in. And then exhale, release down. Again, feel the spine getting longer. One more round here. Inhale, sweeping wide. Feel the rib cage on both sides. Really fill it up as you come up. Good. Exhale, the shoulders down, belly in, feet rooting in. Good. Inhale, get a little bit taller. Feel the sides of the rib cage. And then exhale, come on halfway. Inhale, come back to the length. And then exhale, releasing. Good. Now just take a breath or two here. Maybe allow your awareness, your attention to come to the sides of the ribs. That was most of the focus there. And a sensation of a length along the spine. Is there any of that going on there? Good. And the next one we're going to do is literally just the opening and closing of the arms. And I'm going to turn sideways for this. But in each of those positions, we're going to stop for a breath and do the opposite breath than we normally and just feel what's going on here. So let's inhale the arms up to the sides first. Take an exhale here. As we inhale, turn the palms forward and opening up the chest, bring the gaze upwards. Now stay here and just exhale. Notice the front of the rib cage. Good. And then inhale, opening up maybe a little bit more. And as we exhale, let's round the spine, bring the hands together at the front and the gaze down. Now we're going to stay here, focus on the back body and inhale into the back ribs. Good. Exhale, stay and release. And then inhale, let's open up again. Chest opens, maybe bring the gaze up. Find length through the spine as you open. Stay for the exhale and let the front of the rib cage relax and draw in. Good. Inhale, open up again. And then exhale, bringing the hands together at the front as you round the spine, gaze comes down. We're going to stay here, breathe into the back of the rib cage. Good. Exhale, maybe deepen the round a little bit. And then inhale, last one, opening up. Breathing into the front of the ribs. Exhale, stay for one. Good. Inhale, open a little bit more. And then exhale, last rounding. Bring the hands together at the front, rounding the spine. Take that inhale into the back ribs when you get there. And then exhale. Good. Inhale, just come on back to neutral. Arms come out to the sides. And then exhale, palms turning down, press down again. Feel yourself getting taller every time we do that motion. Good. Take a moment here, another breath or two, just noticing any sensations coming up now. So we've worked around the sides of the ribs, the front, the back a little bit. And we're just going to take a couple little forward folds here, just to start to get into our hips a little bit. We've got one more spine movement after that as well. So this time we're going to sweep the arms forward and up. Let's take that cleansing breath to get back on the same beat. Inhaling in. Exhale, release. Good. Now let's inhale, sweep the arms up. Bring the focus to the back of the rib cage. Feel a little bit of an arching maybe. Stay here for a breath. Exhale, let the shoulders come away from the ears, just like we did before. And then inhale, get a little bit taller. From that length, keep the length as you exhale, bend the knees, hinge at the hips. You can come into that forward fold. If you want your chair or your block here and you don't want to come down as far, just make note of that. Bring the hands to the thighs and let's inhale and extend the spine, get it even longer. And then exhale, forward fold, bend the knees as much as you like, just going for the back, the lower back, especially releasing a little bit here. So find whatever spot does that for you. It might be a lot higher than this. You might be dangling the arms or arms on the chair, but just take a breath or two here. Good. On the next inhale, let's just sweep ourselves on up, press into the feet and reach the fingertips up. Find that length. Let's stay for the exhale. Draw the belly in, shoulders away from the ears. Good. Take another inhale here. Get taller. Breathe into the sides of the ribs. And then exhale, releasing the hands back down. Just one more round like this. Inhale, sweep the arms up, forward and up, focusing a little bit on a slight arching of the back. Stay for the exhale, shoulders away from the ears. And then as you inhale, get a little bit taller. From that place of length, start to exhale, bend the knees, hinge at the hips. You can bring the hands down onto the thighs as early as you like. And then when you get there, inhale, let's lengthen the spine in the halfway position. And then exhale, releasing into the forward fold, your forward fold. Good. Inhale, press into the feet, sweep the arms up, bring yourself to standing, find the length. Stay for the exhale, shoulders away from the ears, draw the belly in, ground down into the feet. Good. Inhale, lengthen again. And then exhale, let's release the arms back down. Good. Again, take that breath or two, that moment or two. Just keep on noticing how things are changing and shifting and evolving around that rib cage. And a little bit around the lower back. So we just got into the lower back, releasing it a little bit. Good. And then last but not least, the movement we're going to work on next is the sides. So we're intentionally going to use the sides and also breathe into the sides. So starting with the hands just down at the sides, palms can be in or open to the front, whatever feels good for you today. Keep that belly drawn in a little bit to keep some engagement around the waist there, around the lower back. And let's inhale the left arm up, keep the right arm down. We're going to stay here just like we did before. And as you exhale, shoulder away from the ear, draw the belly in and ground down through that left foot. Good. Inhale, lengthen a bit more through that left side. And then as you exhale, a little bit of lean towards the right, but just enough so you get a bit of a stretch. We're not going for anything maximum here. On your inhale, start breathing into the left side of the ribs. Keep that extra length there. And as you exhale, reach the fingertips up rather than leaning over too much. Good. Next, inhale, breathe into the side of the ribs again. And then the exhale reaches you up. You can even press down into that left foot. Good. One more inhale into the side of the ribs. And then as you exhale, just sweeping that arm down, bringing the body back to center. And just take a moment here, noticing any sensations there. I tend to feel like this side of my body is like huge after I've done that. And then let's move on over to the other side. Inhale, sweep the right arm up. So just straight first. Exhale, shoulder away from the ear, ground down through that right foot. And then inhale, find the length down the right side of the body. As you exhale, leaning over to the left, don't go very far, just enough so that you're starting to feel that stretch there. And then inhale into the right side of the rib cage. As you exhale, pressing into the right foot, reach with the fingertips, more up than anything. Good. Inhale, breathe into the side of the ribs again. Exhale, reaching maybe a little bit higher. And then inhale one more time to the side of the ribs. And exhale, releasing the arm down. Nice and slow. Use that whole exhale to come back. And again, taking a few moments here. Inhale, exhale. Noticing especially through the side of the rib cage there. Good. Let's do one more little round of that on each side. Inhale, sweep the left arm up. Stay, exhale, shoulder away, belly in, ground that left foot down a bit of extra. Good. Inhale, get more length through that whole left side. And then as you exhale, just leaning far enough to start getting a stretch. Good. Inhale into the side of the rib cage. Exhale, press into that left foot, reach with the fingertips up. Good. Just one more here. Inhale into the side of the rib cage, the left side. And then as you exhale, sweeping the arm down, come on back to center. And the other side one more time. Inhale, sweep the right arm up. Exhale, shoulder down, belly in, ground through the foot. Good. Inhale, reaching, lengthening. And then exhale, just take a lean until you feel a bit of a stretch. Inhale into the right side of the rib cage. Exhale, grounding down right foot, reaching right fingertips. One more inhale into the side of the rib cage. And then exhale, come on back. Good. One or two nice deep breaths here in the middle. You can even close the eyes when we do these little mini check-ins. And just noticing any of those sensations building around the rib cage, that space around the torso like a barrel. Good, open the eyes if they're closed. And I'm going to turn sideways. I'm just going to do 2 little forward folds just to help release a little bit around the lower back and the sacrum. Let's inhale the arms up. You can go front or side, whatever feels more comfortable for you today. Focusing on that length as you reach up. And then as you exhale, keep the length, bend the knees, hinge at the hips, come into your forward fold, however deep that is. Good, stay here for a breath. Maybe even come up a little and lengthen through the spine, find a bit more length. And then exhale, you can release a little bit more. Stay for one more breath. And as you inhale, maybe even straightening the legs a bit more as you come up. And then exhale, release. You can re-bend the knees, refold, just creating a bit more space each time. Good. Next inhale, let's sweep on up, pressing into the feet as you reach the arms up. And then exhale, release the arms down. Good. One more round here. Inhale, sweeping up. Find that length right on the first go. And then from that length, let's exhale, hinge at the hips, bend the knees, find that forward fold again. And then let's inhale, sweeping all the way up. And exhale, release the arms back down. Good. So the last thing we're going to do standing is we're going to start getting into the hips a little bit here. And when we get down to the floor, the hips will be the real focus. If you find when we do these types of movements that you like having the chair there, then just bring your chair in front of you now. So you've got it there. So I'm going to bring mine in just to demo. And we're going to step, let's start at the chair. So we're close enough that we know it's going to be in the right spot. Leaving your left foot forward. I'm going to step the right foot back, and you can take them a little bit wider if you need to. And that back foot's at a bit of an angle, so you're not, the toes aren't pointing straight with both of them. You get it out at a little bit of an angle, maybe 45, maybe a bit less or more. And find a position where you're starting to feel an opening in that right hip, but you also have both soles of the feet firmly planted on the ground. So your stance might be a little bit shorter or longer than mine, and it might be a little bit wider, but find something where you feel stable, but you're also starting to feel that little stretch here. And we can take the left hand, place it behind the back if that's comfortable. You can leave it at the side if that's not terribly comfortable for you. We're just going to start to bend into that front knee, as far as the knee is over the ankle or maybe a little bit less, but just feeling into that little stretch in the hip a little bit more. We're going to deepen this stretch, and then we're going to use the space we create to go forward. Let's take a nice deep breath here to get on the same beat. Inhale. Exhale, release. Good. Let's inhale, sweep that right arm up. And we're going to stay here. Exhale, shoulder away from the ear and draw the belly in. Good. Inhale, reaching up a little bit more, pressing down through the feet. On the exhale, draw the belly in again. Good. Inhale one more time, find a little bit of extra length. And then on the exhale, start to come forward, keep that length. And we're going to come about halfway, and you can bring the hand to the chair, or if you've your shin, or if you've got the floor there. And let's take an inhale just to extend the spine a little bit more. And you might stay here, this might be your maximum, or you might have a little bit of extra space to exhale and forward fold a little bit more over that front leg. Good, just take 1 or 2 deep breaths here. And then let's inhale, press into the feet. We're going to reach that arm back up, press into that back foot, find that space and that stretch through the right hip again. And then let's exhale, release that arm back down. One more round here. Inhale, sweep the right arm up. We're going to stay for those extra 2 breaths. Exhale, draw the belly in. You can rebend that front knee a little bit. Inhale, reach even higher. Exhale, draw the belly in, ground through the feet. Good. One more inhale, reach a little bit higher. And then exhale, come on forward with that nice flat back first. Good. I'm going to stay here for the extra breath. Inhale, lengthen the spine. And then exhale, release as much as you want to. You can drape yourself right over that front leg. You can even straighten the knee if your hamstring wants a bit more of a stretch, or you can stay up here like I'm doing. Good, take one more breath here. And then let's inhale, press into the feet, reach up with the fingertips, get nice and tall. And then exhale, releasing the arm back down. Let that arm go from behind you. And stepping forward, take a little pause in mountain in between the sides here. And maybe just noticing what's happening, especially down that right side. Mine tends to just start feeling bigger when I'm working with lengthening and stretching. Good. When you're ready, let's step the other foot back. And again, take a moment, find the width that you want, the length that you want. You want the feet nice and flat, feeling nice and stable, and somewhere where you're comfortable bending that front knee to start getting a bit of an extra stretch there in the back. Good. Right hand comes behind or just beside if that's more comfortable. Let's bend into that front knee a little bit. And let's take that deep breath to start together. Inhale. Exhale, release. Good, one more inhale. Let's sweep that left arm up. And then remember, we're staying here. Exhale, shoulder away, belly in, feet grounding down. Inhale, lengthens you. Exhale, shoulder, belly, feet grounds you. Good, one more inhale, lengthen. From that place of length, start to hinge forward. You can keep that knee bent. The hand can come down to the chair or further down if you like. Let's take an inhale to lengthen the spine one more time in this position. And then exhale again, releasing on over more or staying where you are. You can straighten that knee if that feels available, but don't go for it if it feels like too much. Good, one more breath. And the next inhale, if you've got that knee straighten, rebend it, and let's just sweep on up. Press down through the feet, reaching up to the sky, and exhale, release the arm. Good, just one more on this side. Inhale, reach the arm up. Exhale, shoulder, belly, grounding through the feet. Good, let's inhale, get a little bit taller. Exhale again, the shoulder away, the belly in, the feet grounding in. Last inhale, and stretch up. And then exhale, hinging forward. Find that chair if you're using it. About halfway here, take another inhale to lengthen the spine even more. Ground through the feet as you do that. And then let's exhale, release, or staying here. Up to you. Take the extra breath. And then on the next inhale, let's sweep on back up, get nice and tall. And then exhale, release the hand. Release the one from behind you if it's there. And stepping on forward into mountain one last time here. A little bit of a check-in. Good. So let's move the chair out of the way if you've got that there, like I did. Then we're just going to make our way onto the ground. I'm going to just make my way down to a child's pose. And we can do that through a little forward fold if that feels nice for you. You can come behind your blanket. If for any reason child's pose is not comfortable, then we're going to be on our back. So feel free to, as we make our way down, just bring yourself to your back instead of child's pose. Either one is fine. But starting off in mountain pose, let's inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, hinging at the hips, bend at the knees, come into that forward fold. Your version. Take another extra little inhale here. Maybe releasing again for a moment. And then when you're ready, just start to walk the hands forward. If you're coming into child's pose, come onto your knees. They can be hip width, or it can be nice to have them nice and wide. It just creates a bit of extra space there for your torso. And then just bring yourself down. If having your head that far down is uncomfortable, you can always make little fists, stack them on top of each other, and just rest your head there if that's more comfortable. Just take a couple nice deep breaths here, just starting to let your attention and your intention come on down to the ground. If you've chosen to come onto your back already, and maybe knees bent, feet flat on the floor. Whatever position you're in, just taking a few breaths here and let your awareness and your attention circle around the rib cage. Notice if there's any extra space that we've created there. Good, and then if you are in child's pose, let's just start to bring ourselves over onto our backs. If you've got that blanket there, it can be nice to have it under your hips for these. Make sure you've got the scarf or strap, whatever you're using, within arm's reach there. And you can bring your feet hip width apart and then maybe walk them slightly further, letting the knees rest together. Hands can be on your belly here, or they can be out at the sides if that's more comfortable for you. If they're on your belly, allow your awareness and your attention to really come down from the rib cage towards the belly, towards the hips and the pelvis. Begin to feel the breath in that area. Allow your attention to shift to a different space. While the attention and the intention in the first half was really physical on specific parts of the body, the attention on this next little bit is going to focus more on creating a rhythm. Just finding your rhythm. So let's bring our feet together, our knees together. And we're going to start with a really simple, just side to side little twist, both knees going to the same side. Let's start here in the middle. Inhale, find some length through the spine as you inhale first here. And then going right first, let's exhale, let the knees come over to the right as far as feels comfortable. So they don't have to go very far on the first one. We're just testing it here. And then inhale, come on back to center. And exhale, move on over to the other side. And we're going to continue this movement. The inhales bring us back to center. The exhales move us over to the other side. And then I'm going to let you just move in your own breath. So you might go a little bit faster or slower than I'm going. And begin to focus on creating a rhythm here. Inhaling center, exhaling side. And connecting a little side to side rhythm with the breath. And as you do that, maybe allowing on those exhales to intuitively let the body release a little bit more. Around the hips, around the lower back. Maybe even a little bit higher through the middle and upper back, where that twisting action is in the spine. Good, one last round here, last one on the left. So whichever side you're on, do one more on the left. And then let's all meet back at center. When you get there, hug the knees in for a moment, maybe a little rock side to side. If you like, you can even take the knees a little bit wider and move them side to side. It can feel quite nice. And then let's release the feet back down to the ground. And this is where we're going to grab our strap or our scarf. I'm going to grab my scarf. We're going to combine a few movements here. So we'll do the first round nice and slow. And then we'll do a couple more rounds where we move more on each breath. So bring your scarf and you're just going to wrap it around the ball of your right foot, scarf or your strap. And then we're going to bring that right leg into the air, have a bit of resistance between the ball of the foot and the scarf. Your knee can be bent a little bit, or the leg can be even a little bit further away. But come to a point where you're feeling just the gentlest of stretches on your hamstring. So we're not going for maximum hamstring stretches here. And that left leg is bent, foot flat on the floor. Good. Now we're going to inhale in this position, pressing the foot into the scarf, a bit of resistance. Feel that stretch deepen along the back of your hamstring a little bit. And then as you exhale, let's bring the knee in towards the chest or even let it open up towards the armpit a little bit. Good. Inhale, come on back up, the opening. We'll do a couple of these rounds. Exhale, knee in towards the chest. Inhale, let it open up. Exhale, draw it in. You can also have a little bit of resistance between the scarf and the foot. As you inhale, open, and exhale, close. And again, just finding the rhythm here. So see if there's a little rhythm that this movement wants to settle into. One more like this. One last exhale, knee towards the chest or the armpit. Good. And then we're going to inhale, extend that leg. And then let's cross the leg over the other knee, flex that foot. And you can just leave the scarf hanging here for a moment if you'd like. You may or may not use it, depends on what version you're in. And then take that right hand and just bring it to the inside of the right knee. The foot is still flexed. And we're going to do a little bit of opening and closing here. So as you inhale, use that right hand just to see how far the hip wants to open. Don't really push it. Just go to a place where you feel a nice stretch, but not more than that. And then as you exhale, you're going to draw that knee in towards the chest and over to the other side. So inhales open you up. Exhales close. And again, start to find that rhythm. And just settle into the rhythm as you open and close. And one last round like this. And we're going to inhale, stay in that open position, not the maximum, but maybe about 70, 80%. And then start to walk that left foot back towards you a little bit. And here's where you can maybe use the scarf a little bit if you want to give yourself a little bit of help. Now this might be enough for you. We're looking just for a bit of an opening along that right hip, or you might actually want to lift that left foot off the ground, which then pulls that right hip even more open. And this might be enough for you and you want to stay here, or you might want to add a straightening of that left leg, which will deepen it a little bit more. Now, if you're in this position, we could use the breath here a few times and exhale, bending at the left knee. Maybe it opens things back up again and moves you away. And as you inhale, straighten and draw that right leg closer to you. Good. Exhale, bending. Inhale, straightening. And then last one here, exhale as you bend. If your foot is up, bring it back down to the ground. Take an inhale here, maybe one last little opening with your hand. And then exhale, just releasing everything. Let the breath flow naturally. And we're going to hug that knee in for a moment. And again, it can be into the chest or a little bit wider. Just see what feels good for your hip. And then when you're ready, let's straighten that right leg out. We're going to take the right arm up above us. Keep the right foot flexed. And let's inhale, take a nice stretch along the right side of the body here. Push the foot away and reach the fingertips up. And then exhale, relax everything. You can bring the right hand back down to your belly, relax the right leg. You can give it a little shake side to side, and then just let it sit there for a moment or two. Let everything release. Good, and then rebend the right leg. And just take 1 or 2 moments here, just noticing any sensations there through the right hip, through the right side of the body. And then let's move on over to the other side. So grabbing your scarf or strap again, get it laced over the left ball of the foot, the left leg up into the air. Again, knee can be a bit bent or it can be quite straight, a bit further away. Just find where you get a little bit of a stretch through that hamstring. So it doesn't have to be very intense to start here. Good, let's inhale, press the foot into the strap, pull the strap down, get a bit more engagement through that hamstring. And then as you exhale, knee bends into the chest or towards the armpit or somewhere in between. Good, inhale, straightens it. And exhale, bends it in. And again, let's just fall into our rhythm on this side. So the attention is just on that movement in and out. And the intention is around finding a sense of rhythm. It's not about a specific stretch or engagement. It's finding a sense of rhythm and ease around that hip. Last one here. Good, and then meet me at straight. And let's cross that foot over the knee. Keep that left foot flexed. And again, you can keep a hold of that scarf a little bit here just to keep the engagement through the foot as well if you like. And let's do those in and outs, left hand to the inside of the left knee. Inhale, opening it up. Exhale, drawing over and closed. Good, inhale, open. Again, let's come into that rhythm. Find your rhythm with the opening and closing. And maybe also noticing any differences between the right and our left. In terms of parts of our body that can be quite different from each other. The hips can be quite different. Couple more here. Settle into that rhythm. The inhales open, the exhales close. And then let's all meet in that open position. And again, maybe 60, 70%. Don't have to be at your maximum. And then start to walk that right foot back if that's available. If you stay here and that is your maximum, then just stay there and breathe into it. So focus that exhale into the hip. If you've got a little bit more here, you can lift the foot up. And then if you've got a little bit more to give or a little bit more to test out, you can inhale, straighten that right leg, and then exhale, rebend. You don't have to be this close. This could be a bit further away. You can even have your foot on the ground as you inhale, test it out. And exhale, rebend. Good, a couple more here. And again, come back to, is there a sense of rhythm in this that we can settle into? And last one. Good. And then when you finish that, just release the scarf or strap, hug that knee in for a moment here. Again, the hug can be towards the chest or out towards the armpit. It can be even quite far away. Let it relax a bit further. Just a place where you can find a sense of a bit of ease. And then when you're ready, let's straighten out that left leg. Keep the left foot flexed. Reach the left arm up overhead. And then let's take that inhale, press the sole of the left foot away and reach the left fingertips up, up and away. And then as you exhale, let everything soften. Bring that left arm back. Maybe hands on the belly, relax the left foot. Maybe even give it a little wiggle there. Shake it out. And then just take a moment or two. And just relaxing here for a second. Good. And then last but not least, before we go into our restorative, let's rebend the legs. Walk the feet in, about hip width apart. And we're going to go into a variation of bridge here, a dynamic variation of bridge. And the focus here is really starting to draw the awareness and draw the attention in towards us. So we're actually going to do something where our hands are going to be palmed over the eyes at one point, and we're going to keep them there for a while and move into some windshield wipers before we finish off. And the intention here is really just to start bringing ourselves inwards. Good. So hands down, palms facing down to start. Let's take a deep breath together here. Exhale, side out. Good. And as we inhale, start to bring the hips up, maybe about halfway, not very far, and sweep the arms up so the fingertips are pointing towards the sky. Now, as you exhale, bending at the elbows and bring the palms to cover the eyes, maybe soften through the hips a little bit. Good. Inhale, straighten the arms back up again. Fingertips point up. Maybe bring the hips a little bit higher. Taking another exhale, let's bring the palms to the eyes. You can let the hips release down a little bit as you do this. And then this time, let's inhale, bring the hips up even higher, as far as feels comfortable for you. And then exhale last time, bringing the palms down to cover the eyes, and let the hips come all the way back down to the ground as you do that. Good. Let the hips settle, soften around the belly a little bit, and then just walk the feet out a little bit wider. So if you've got a mat, it's about the edge. If you don't have a mat, don't worry. Just take one or two deep breaths here. And then we're going to do some windshield wipers, which just means we're going to bring those knees inwards rather than outwards, one at a time. So we're going to start with the right, and let's inhale, lengthen the spine first. And then exhale, just let that right knee come down and in like you're trying to reach the inside of the knee towards the floor. The left leg can open up or stay where it is. And then the inhales bring you back to that start position with both knees up towards the ceiling. Good. Exhale, left knee down and in. That right leg can open up or stay. And then inhale back to center. The palms are still over the eyes if that's comfortable. And we're just going to move side to side. So the exhales, draw one of the knees down and in. And then the inhales back to center. And again, find a bit of rhythm here. Moving at your own pace. And just see if you can let your awareness and your attention really come on down around the hips, around the pelvis, around the belly and the lower back. Let's do one last round here. So one more to the right, one more to the left, whichever side you're on. And finishing off with that left knee down and in. Good, and then just come on back to center, walk the feet back to hip width apart. And you're just gonna lift the feet off of the ground, bring the knees towards the chest, and you can bring the palms back over to hug the knees in. Maybe a little rock side to side if that feels good. You can keep the eyes closed or open them up, whatever's more comfortable for you. And then last but not least, just a few little in and out sapanasanas just to release the lower back one last time. So you can let the knees, cup them in your hands and just let them hang there. So if you were to let them go, they would fall to the ground, gently fall, not like a plummet. And then let's take an inhale in this position. As you exhale, awareness to the belly, draw the belly in as you draw the knees towards the chest and really let the belly and the breath draw them in so you don't need your hands necessarily. And then inhale, let the knees release back out and imagine the belly and the breath is what's pressing them back out. So exhale, drawing everything in energetically from the belly, drawing things in. And then as you inhale and push things away energetically, imagine the bellies just gently pushing the knees away. One last one here. Exhale, draw them in. Inhale, release. And then just release the feet back on down to the ground. And then just start to set up for your restorative posture here. So you might want the cushions, something under the knees. That can be quite nice. So I'm just going to demo that one. If you're comfortable staying on your back today, that's a really good position after creating all that space. You can even stick 2 cushions under if you like and bring the knees up even higher. If you like having your back supported, you can stick a cushion under there. Maybe a little pillow under your head even could be quite nice. Just begin to find a position that you're comfortable in. Feel free to use the blankets. Feel free to take the scarf that you have. It could be quite nice just to have something lightly covering the eyes, just more for there being a little bit of a sense of drawing in. So take a little bit of time here and just come into the position that's feeling best for you. If there's any little adjustment that you want to make before we start, keep making those little adjustments. It might be a little movement of the hand or just a different angle of the head. And then as and when you're ready, if the eyes aren't yet closed and you feel comfortable closing them today, just let them draw. Let the eyelids draw closed. And again, if there's any little adjustment that you need, even to make yourself 1% more comfortable, that tiny bit more comfortable, go ahead and do so. Let's begin by letting our awareness and our attention just explore a little bit the different connections that are supporting us. Maybe feeling the cushions, the pillows underneath your legs, your knees. If your feet are touching the ground, feel that connection there. Noticing how your hips and your lower back feel on the ground. Noticing the back of the rib cage. Connection points where the arms are being supported. And the connection where the head is being supported and the neck. And then with every breath you take, maybe feeling yourself getting a little bit heavier. Feel the weight of the body against the support. Almost like there's a set of hands that you're resting into. And then I'll invite you to start to draw the awareness and the attention around the rib cage. Let's come back to that part of the body where we focused on creating space. Maybe coming back to noticing the right and the left side. Feeling them expand out sideways as the air comes in. And feeling the sides draw in, release as you breathe out. Maybe let the awareness come to the back of the rib cage. Feel yourself breathing into the floor, into the support beneath you. The rib cage spreads as the air fills. And as you breathe out, can you release and just let yourself sink into the space behind you, into the support? And maybe notice and see how that space around the rib cage, around your torso, especially the upper half, is feeling for you in this moment. And through the practice, have you opened up any extra space there? And allow the awareness and the attention to start to move down a little bit around the belly, the sides of the waist, and into the lower back. And again, noticing if there's any extra space that's been created there. And then in that space, are you able to allow the muscles, the tissues, the organs to soften and release? Maybe again, feeling the weight release into the support beneath you. And allow that attention and awareness to come down into the hips, into the pelvic area. Again, noticing the sensations here. Is there any space that's been created? And are you able to fill it up on your inhales and soften and release into it on your exhales? Seeing if you can allow the awareness and the attention to take in the whole of the space that you've created. From the chest to the belly, down through the hips, and the whole pelvic area. And with every breath in and with every breath out, filling up that space a little bit, filling your awareness of the space. And as you breathe out, release and settle into it, surrendering a little bit more to the support beneath and around you. And from this central space that we've created, that you've created, maybe even letting the awareness and the attention notice any of the sensations further afield. Maybe that space even extends to the arms and the legs, to the fingers and the toes. Maybe there's a sensation that the space is the whole body. And maybe that space even extends a little bit beyond the body. Maybe you're able to allow yourself to connect a little bit further afield. Maybe just settling in with the rhythm of the breath. And as you breathe in, feel the space expand a little bit. And as you breathe out, feel yourself releasing into the support. And again, start to bring the awareness and the attention to the edges of that space, to the edges of your body, of any sensations. And gently and slowly beginning to deepen the breath, beginning to lengthen the breath a little bit more as you breathe in and as you breathe out. Again, feeling around the rib cage and the chest, expanding to the sides, to the back, to the front, and drawing back in. Feel the belly rise and fall. And as you breathe in and as you breathe out, feel the whole pelvic bowl filling up and expanding, and then releasing and softening. And maybe starting to find a little bit of movement in the body. Could be a little wiggle of the fingers or the toes. Maybe even a movement around the wrists and the ankles. And see if you can extend and bring a little bit of movement around the head. Maybe just moving the head from side to side. As you find those movements, feeling the body awaken a little bit. And if it's comfortable for you today and it's calling to you, maybe stretch the arms up above the head. And take a little stretch from the fingertips to the toes. Or maybe stay as you are. And then when you start feeling ready, you bring the knees in again. Nice little gentle hug. Maybe even a little rock side to side. And then from there, bringing yourself onto one side or the other. Maybe there's one side that's really feeling more comfortable for you today. If being on your side isn't comfortable at all, then just stay with your knees hugged in a little bit longer. And again, as and when you're ready, taking as much time as you need, starting to push yourself up into a seated position. And if it's comfortable for you, keeping the eyes closed as you do so. You can flip the cushions around, maybe sit on those if you need to be up a little bit taller. And when you get there, finding that length through the spine again. It feels good for you today, placing the palms onto the thighs. Let the shoulders relax as you find that stability up through the spine and the length again. And maybe come back to that idea, that thought around intention and attention. And maybe just see if you can bring that into your day tomorrow, or maybe even just into the rest of your evening, whatever you're doing next. Are you able to pay attention to what you're doing right in the here and now? What kind of intention do you want to move through the rest of your evening with? What's the why that you will attach to your what? And then when you're ready, let's take the left hand and place it over the heart center, over the front of the ribs. Right hand over the left. And then I'll invite you, if it's comfortable for you today, to think of something that you're grateful for. Be something little, something big, anywhere in between. And then take another little moment here and acknowledge whatever that is in any way that feels right for you. Could be a simple thank you. Could be imagining a gesture or some words. Focusing your attention there with that intention of gratitude. And when you're ready, let's take the right and left palms, place them together in front of us. If you want a bit of extra heat, give them a little rub. And then again, let's place the palms over the eyes. And then as and when you're ready, start to blink the eyes open. Maybe spread the fingertips, let a bit of light back in. And then when you're ready again, allowing the hands to come on back down to the thighs. And if you need, take whatever time and space you need to let your awareness come back into the space around you. No rush. Namaste. Thank you.